I just want to do a quick message for y'all for the 13th. 1 and 3 is the karmic debt number. You know, I don't know, a lot of people be having beef with the 13s, culturally speaking, historically speaking. People have, you know, kind of demonized the 13, demonized the 4s with the Saturn square, the Masonic, you know, corner. People don't like planetary squares and all these different things. And I just want to send a message about it. Let's talk about it a little bit, right? So, in the numerology realm, 1 and 3 is, knowledge and understanding, right? And 1 and 3 is considered a karmic debt number because in this realm, we have exited that Pisces, that age of Pisces energy, and entered the age of Aquarius, right? Um, and so in that space, we're more so in the 13 of learning how to express, communicate, and create with what we know. You know, our sense of understanding of our knowledge. All right, and it's very difficult here because all the way down to our education system, we live in a common core education system. Once upon a time, the way education was set up was we had different teachers. We had different schools of thought. You know what I'm saying? You had some teachers that, these are my philosophies, these are my theories, this is what I think is going on, blah, 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 blah. And students that agreed with that school of thought would go with that teacher. Then, and then you had other people like, I disagree, I think this, or I think both, or I think something totally, I don't disagree with them, but this is what I want to teach. You had these different schools of thought and you are allowed to have your own unique individual school of thought, and that's being in the Ketters, that's being in your Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy is all about being unique and authentic, and there's no separation in that uniqueness though, because it's still dealing with society, it's still dealing with friendships, it's still dealing with that level of unity to a certain extent, but you're still being yourself in that unity. You know what I'm saying? Now, even down to our education system, we are being taught that we all have to think the same, we all have to talk the same. If we want to sit and belong in certain boxes, we have to be the same. And a lot of that had to do with the Pisces realm of being a school of fish, herd immunity. If we're all doing this, if we all believe in this, if we all learn this, if we all have these kind of jobs and these kind of houses and these kind of cars, if we all have these kind of ambitions, it's safe. It's safe for all of us to have the same thing. And we don't live in that space anymore. It's not safe for everybody else. People are getting more in tune with themselves and what they want to do as individuals. And so 13 has always been ostracized and demonized to the point where they would have like a building and they would skip the 13th floor. Like it's really that deep. It's, coming into, what do they call it? Superstitious 13. We just don't like 13. We don't want you guys to express and communicate your authenticity, your unique self. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. 1 Corinthians, for I determined not to know anything among you save Jesus Christ and him crucified. How long minus Chris away on 13 years old? I'm not sure what you mean with that. I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking when you ask me that. But yeah, so the 13 is, it's been demonized in that realm of things of you're not supposed to think different. And we even seen that in movies and television shows and stuff like that we used to watch growing up. I'm 35, y'all. So, I grew up in the Disney movie area where every month there was a new Disney movie out and all that stuff like that. And in the Disney movie, you have this family and the whole family looks the same and they act the same and, they're in one accord. And then you have that one weird kid that's usually like the middle kid or the younger kid. And they're like, man, my family's weird. My babysitter's weird. The neighborhood is weird. Everybody's school's weird. And I'm just over here to myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to anybody. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate you, Christian. I don't talk to anybody. I'm just to myself. I don't get along with my family. I don't get along with my parents. My older sibling bullies me, and my parents ignore it because my that sibling acts like them, and I don't act like everybody. And I just want to be saved, and I just want to go somewhere where everybody is like me. It's still that fish that herd mentality. We've been trained to stay in that mindset. You go to church, everybody in the congregation, we speak at the same time, we say amen at the same time, we're all doing the same things, and there's always somebody at the top. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, same thing in the school system. And it gives that mental illness of perfection. Perfection is making sure you look and you fit like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? If you don't look and fit like everybody else, there's something wrong with you. You're not perfect. We have these cookie cutter lifestyle ideas. You know what I'm saying? A cookie cutter woman, a cookie cutter man, cookie cutter children, cookie cutter relationships. And we project a lot when people color outside of that line, and that's heavy on the 13. So in this 13, it's about learning how to be in your authenticity, especially being in the age of Aquarius. We now have the North Node in Aquarius. We have a lot of planetary placements in Aquarius. This is fixed air energy. This is about being unique. This is about detachment. Detach from those things that's calling on you to be the same, to be like everything and everybody else. It's time to do something different. It's time to be in your unique self. It's time to listen to your light. What's coming to you? What vision do you have? Your vision is not everybody's prescription. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't see the things exactly the way you see it. No two people see exactly the same. Yet we're all being, told and forced to see everything exactly the same. And that's not reality. So now we're in this reality where we're learning to embrace that. We're starting to have awareness of it. We're starting to create with it. We're starting to communicate with it. We're aligning our emotionals, to it, and that's creating a 4, because 1 and 3 come together make 4. And how well you are aligned with your expression and your creation and your communication with your authentic self determines your lifestyle. 4 is lifestyle. 4 is my yacht. Yeah, I keep the 42 laws up there. 4 is my yacht. This is your celestial blueprint. This is your culture in supreme mathematics. What kind of culture are you creating for yourself? Is it your authenticity, or is it something that you're being taught you have to be, you have to behave, you have to upkeep? You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself these things on the 13, right? So that you can create the 4 that you desire, so that you can, move in that sense of compassion, grace, mercy. You want to have this level of like infinite love for the things that you're doing, for the things that you're building upon. And a lot of you guys don't, because you're building upon things that you don't want, that you're not happy with, that's not in your desires. And I don't get why you're doing that. I know that we live in this space now. We live in the Aquarian energy now with all these ones and zeros. The internet is ruled by Aquarius energy as well. I don't know if you guys knew that. But there's also the internet. And even amongst this, we still have the illusions and the delusions and things that we're supposed to be breaking off from in Pisces still kind of infiltrating the ones and zeros. That's calling on people, oh, if we want to go viral, we have to make what everybody else is making. Never mind if that's something that I want to make. Never mind if that's a song that I want to play on my video. Never mind if that's how I want to portray my family or my relationship or whatever. I got to do what everybody else is doing, because it's successful to them. So it has to be successful for me too. And let this Aquarius energy show and prove to you that that's not true. What's successful for someone else, what's lucrative and abundant for someone else, will not be that for you. And what other people are willing to consistently pour into that, you may not be willing to consistently pour into that. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You have to be in your authenticity. You see a lot of people moving and grooving and not being in their authenticity to the point where, and it gets to the point where they're breaking. They're breaking. And as soon as people see that, instant projection. Get back in the cookie cutter. Get back in the cookie cutter. What are you doing? We rely on you to be this image of perfection we have in our minds, and you're breaking it. I don't like it. Fix it, fix it, fix it. We see a lot of that communication. You felt it from your parents, you felt it from your teachers, you felt it from your peers, your neighborhood, people in the church, and now you're feeling it from strangers on the internet. It's just constant, like, get back into that cookie cutter because I projected the perfection upon you of what it means to me. And so you have to ask yourself, am I building something out of my authenticity? Am I building something out of my knowledge, my intellect, what I want? Or am I building things upon the projections, what other people want of me? What are my internal laws of my God? We all got the 42 laws around us, outside of us. Somebody created these and wrote them down. And yeah, we could follow them just like somebody, in any religion, in any spiritual realm. Somebody took the time out to sit down and write these laws. And yeah, we could follow those. Follow them. We don't always follow them to 100%, right? Why? Because they're not in alignment with our pure authenticity. And for some reason, we want to believe that our pure authenticity is flawed because it's not in alignment with what somebody else wrote. You get what I'm saying? What's your internal mayat? What's your internal law? What are your internal boundaries? What's your blueprint? What is it that you want to create? That's what we ask ourselves on the floor. Who are you? Without people's projections. Who are you? We're in the month of knowledge. We're in the month of taking action, taking initiative, leadership energy on the ones. Aries rules over one energy, right? Aries rules over the gut that controls the mind, and everything starts with the thought. If you adhere to your gut feeling, and a lot of times, 9 if not 10 times out of 10, your gut feeling is not in alignment with other people's gut feelings, not to 100% of an extent. You can have a conversation with somebody and say, I didn't feel good in there. Somebody will say, I didn't feel good either. And then y'all try to finish each other's sentence, and you end up saying some other shit, and you're like, oh, you wasn't thinking that? I wasn't thinking that, but I agree with you. I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to follow your gut. This is the month to do gut cleansing, gut healing, gut breathing, being very intentional in your gut, in your blood pressure, in your blood sugar, your blood flow. How is it flowing throughout of your body? How are you listening to that fight or flight mode? How are you being triggered into action? How are you being motivated? What's your ambitions? What's angering you? How are you expressing that anger? How are you dealing with your solar plexus chakra? That's the month that we're in. Peace, cat. That's where we're at on the ones. One is also Ketters. It brings us right back to that Aquarius energy, our knowledge, that light, our leadership, our cardinal energy, taking initiative, taking action. That's all on the ones. So when we put that into that force, so now we got the celestial blueprint. We done dealt with the 13 karmic debt number. We done learn how to walk in our authenticity, express and communicate it, build on it, woo out. We created the celestial blueprint. We've created our internal law off of it. We now have this culture for ourselves, and we feel real good. We're on the square with it. We're building on. We love the square. Squares are dependable. Squares are reliable. Squares create the foundation of things, right? So now we're going to take action on that square. Now we have knowledge and awareness of that square. And that's going to bring us to 5, power. Because knowledge of our internal law does bring us power, right? If you're walking around and you don't have no internal law or internal order or boundaries or a blueprint for what you want, there's not much power. Anybody can come to you and say, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you should do that. Hey, you should do what I want to do. Hey, why are you doing all of that? It's easy for someone to come into your space and control you. It's easy for someone to come in your space and manipulate you, influence you, get you to do and think things that they want you to do and think. It's not easy because you don't have a blueprint for yourself. So here, take my blueprint. I got one for you. And I'm sure you guys see a lot of people like that. Some of y'all intentionally surround yourself with people that don't have 4s because you like to be the one in control. You like to be the one creating the blueprint and dragging people around behind you and do what I want to do. And if you don't do what I want to do, I'm going to go and spread this narrative about you. And other people who don't have strong 4s, they're going to feed into the narrative like, oh my God, such and such said, this person did this person did that. I believe it. Why? Because you don't have no blueprint of your own. You allow anybody to come in and tell you what to think, how to think. What's your personal opinion be? When you see somebody who has their own 4, they're very intimidating, and they usually don't have a bunch of people around them, because nobody wants to be around somebody that's strong-minded. You can't convince them nothing. You can't influence them. You can't get them to agree with what you agree with. Nobody wants to be around somebody with a strong 4 about them. Who, whatever you hear, like run away from the Virgo, run away from the Capricorn, run away from the Taurus. Earth is 4. Run away from the Capricorn energy. That's all 4s. That's that strength. That's that square. Run away from the Masonic order is demonic. You know what I'm saying? Run away from the squares. We don't like square aspects. Hey L, thank you. Run away from those things. We're being taught to run away from strong-minded people that think on their own, that think differently. You know what I'm saying? Demonize them. They're not good people because they're not thinking and doing like the rest of us would do. And we following somebody else. You see it all the time. You see it all the time. It's so easy to see. But when you do have knowledge and awareness of your personal 4 and you act on it and you're in your leadership energy and can't nobody manipulate your mindset or do any of those things, that brings you to 5. Now you're in your power. And power comes from control of self. It's not about controlling other people, places, things, situations, and ideas outside of self. It's about self. I got self-power. I got self-control. I'm in my Heracahootie. I'm in my Jabora. I'm in my shit. I know what my celestial law is, and I enforce that in my space. And you can't come in my space and tell me what to think and tell me what to do. And I read this book back in the year 700, and it said woo woo wop, so you should do it too. I don't give a fuck. I already have my own internal law. You can't come in here and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? And people be getting mad. Why? Because you're not on your knees like the rest of them. No, nobody wants to be around somebody that's not on their knees. Now you're the problem. I'll tell you. 5 also deals with satisfying your adventurous self, your curiosities, and you have to have a divine blueprint to do that. You have to have awareness of your divine blueprint to know what you're curious about to even go out into those adventures and satisfy. To even know when that curiosity is satisfied. 5 also deals with Leo energy. Leo energy, it rules over the heart chakra. This is the balance between the upper self, the non-physical self, and the lower self, the physical self. You balance yourself here on the 5. You balance yourself here on the 5 when we're dealing with the Netters and the Sephiroth. The 5 brings balance and order between your physical and non-physical self, your spiritual and your material self, your emotional self, your earthly self. It's a balance there. That's the midpoint. That's where the power is. How powerful are you there? Well, it depends on how good you've been building there. Otherwise, somebody else can come and just knock you right off. You ever been, I remember one time I was kind of like squatting down and somebody tried to push me. And they were surprised because they couldn't push me over. They were just being silly, but they were trying to push me in. And it's like, oh my God, like, you strong as hell. Like, yeah, balance on the beam, bro. It's that kind of energy, but it's more like on your heart. That's how strong you should be. Nobody can come around you and just push you and knock you over. That's true power. And it's not about exerting it on other people. Oh, I'm in charge. I'm at the head of the table. Y'all got to do what I do because that's power. I'm not powerful unless I got... No. It's you on you. If you can control yourself and enforce your blueprint and what you envision and what you desire and what you feel in your space, ain't that powerful? Nobody can come into my space and tell me what to do, who to be, how to be, what the law and order is or nothing. That's so powerful because you're literally living the life that you want to live. We're also in the year of 1. We're also in the year of having awareness, having knowledge, taking that leadership energy. We're in the year of that too. And that year has been brought to us by 2026. Wisdom in our space and wisdom in our sense of equality. Equality is big. Especially when we get into the Hebrew number. Now, according to the Gregorian calendar, we play with the Hebrew numbers there, but y'all know New Year ain't until September, right? All right, cool. I know some of y'all be like, it's March, it's April, whatever, you got that. But when we talk about certain cultures that everybody want to claim, that joint is in September. So you learn, you study a little harder. Or you come up with your own shit. For me, it's in September. My New Year is in September. It's in September for me because my birthday is September. This is September for me because it just makes more sense agriculturally for the new year, and I like to be in tune with nature. So for me personally, my New Year is in September. That's the law I created for myself. I ain't going back and forth with nobody. Come January 1st, come springtime, come summer solstice and Lionsgate, y'all want to say Happy New Year's? I'll still say that shit back. I don't give a fuck. But my shit is in September. Okay? But where I'm going with this is the 6 is about equality. 6 is about harvest. That's why the message on YouTube is you reap what you sow. It's time to reap what you sow. And today, tomorrow, in a few hours, we'll be on the day of 6. When we bring that knowledge and awareness to our power, it is going to bring us to 6. It's going to bring us to that sense of equality, that sense of awareness of you do reap what you sow. This is a day to do that. You know, what you put into the soil, you're going to get back out. The seeds you have been planting into the cosmos, you're going to get back out. The energy you've been putting forth to, your projects, giving to people, doing for people, or maybe you've been selfish. Maybe you've been doing bullshit. Maybe you've been keeping to yourself. And guess what? This is going to be the space and time where you experience the results of those things on the 6th. We are in the year ending in 6. All right. Last year we were in the year ending on 5, ending on power, and it brought transformations in our space. We realized when I exert my power, the snakes is showing. The snakes like to, be in control to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? With the fear factor. They like to sneak and slither around and get what they can get. You know what I'm saying? So when you exerted your power last year, it created transformations. The snakes were showing. Now we're in this year of receiving our return. We're receiving our return here. Eventually we're going to be with the horses, taking action, moving. Stop overthinking. Just fucking do it. Risk taking. And we're going to be in the 6s throughout all of it. You're going to mess up sometimes. Whatever your definition of messing up is, you're going to do it. Because that's what the horse brings. It brings that don't overthink it. Just take a risk and learn how to accept results that are not in alignment with your expectations. That's not necessarily failure. That's not necessarily a fuck up. That's not necessarily a L. It's showing you what you put in is what you get out. You did this, you realize this is what you get back when you do that. Now what we going to do next? And that's what Virgo energy is about. And I don't know if y'all ever met a Virgo, but I promise you, whatever you pour into a Virgo's going to get back to you. They're going to get back to you. You might not be aware of everything you pour into a Virgo, but a Virgo going to give it right back to you. A Virgo might do you real good in the beginning or whatever because, you got a clean slate. But after a while, you're going to get right back what you put in. Same thing for Virgo season. It's the harvest season. What you've been putting into the soil, what you've been putting into your crops, what you've been pouring into nature, you're going to get right back because it's the rainy season. And in some certain parts of the world, it starts raining a lot. So all this pollution we've been doing down here, all that bullshit we've been putting up in the sky, now it's rainy season. Now we're getting it right back. It's coming right back on us. This is all the chemicals. This is all the poisons. This is all the bullshit y'all been putting up here. Take it back. You get what I'm saying? That's what we're at on the 6th. So, look at your authenticity. Take initiative. Take action. Have a sense of understanding of where you're at, who you are. Move in that power of it. First create the blueprint. First create that internal law. Then move in your power of it. And then pay attention to what you get in return of it. All right? That's what we're doing on the 6th. We're in equality on the 6th. I wanted to also talk about a couple of celestial alignments, and then I'm going to read y'all one out. One of the celestial alignments I wanted to talk about was the opposition. That we have an opposition going on with Jupiter and Mars. Okay. Um, we know Mars is over there in Sagittarius on the IC line, right on the IC line at that. And the IC line is about your sense of comfort, how you're being accepted. You know what I'm saying? Sense of belonging. And Mars is in that space of, your solar plexus chakra. You're taking action, taking initiative. That's where the power is at. Mars is in the space of power. It's in that Sagittarius energy, the horse, the seahorse. You know, it's in a space of you don't want to be impulsive. You don't want to be, irrational or impatient or anything because that's overactive fire. But you do want to be fired up. It is happening on a Tuesday, so that's fun. You know what I'm saying? But allow your solar plexus chakra, what motivates you, what gives you ambition, what gets you going. Okay, cards want to fall out. I can fall out. Allow those things. We'll let those cards be what it be.
The card that fell at the top.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to read the cards that fell out. Allow that part of self to be to put you in spaces where you can feel that sense of belonging, where it's acceptable. Because some of y'all are around people, places, things, situations, and ideas, and y'all don't feel accepted. Y'all don't feel like y'all belong. You're forcing yourself to fit in those cookie cutters and those projections of people and what they want you to be and how they want you to be. And that's not really you. That's not really what you want. So allow that Mars and Sagittarius on the IC line to motivate you to move in your own ambition and your own triggers and what you want to do. To be around the people that accept it, to be in the spaces that accept it. Tonight into tomorrow, journal about that. What do you want? What gets you going? What is something you can do for an extended period of time and still not want to stop, What makes you feel good about that energy? Like, Mars deals with the sense of like vitality. Like it brings you youth to be in these spaces. It brings you youth to do these things. What is doing that for you? What can do that for you? And I want you to be for real about that. Be for real about that. Be honest about that. Because Sagittarius is all about, joy, optimism, expansion. Long-term planning can come here too, for the solar plexus chakra of Mars. And then in opposition, so I like to use oppositions as like a magic wand, We're going to use both sides. We got Jupiter over there, the planet of expansion, the planet of philosophy and wisdom and joy and, all these things. We have that planet in opposition over there in Gemini. All right. So over there in Gemini, community, communication, duality, opportunities is coming. Opportunities want to come to you, but you have to be in your authenticity of what you want to do with your energy. So if you are being inauthentic, if you being fake, you being phony, you doing what you feel like, I feel like I have to do this and I have to be over here. It's not really what I want to do. Guess what? You're going to continue. You're going to get opportunities. Don't get it twisted. The opportunities are going to come. But it's putting you in spaces you don't want to be in. So, and then the even more messed up part about it, because Jupiter and Sagittarius energy is about expanding and exaggerating things, is you're taking that space away from somebody who really wants to be there. You fucking up the timelines. You taking a space you're not supposed to be in. That was somebody else's prayer, and you took it. That's real destiny swapping. To be somewhere that you're not supposed to be, you done took somebody else's shit, and now you're not where you're supposed to be. So you messing up other people who have to experience you and your authenticity. Now they can't experience you to do what they gotta do. You're messing up. You fucking up. What you gonna do about it? Jupiter deals with that sense of we want to be focused. But we also want to be flexible. Now, I know Jupiter, has this long-term planning. You got these goals. You got these things that get you fired up. You're real central, real hopeful and optimistic about it. We in there. You know what I'm saying? We in the wands with it. Now, Gemini says, first of all, we definitely going to bring a community to you to get it. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep. The community is coming. In the same breath, it's like, I don't want you to be like white knuckles gripping on how I'm going to get you there. I want you to be flexible on the journey. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about the Gemini twins or the Beji twins, however way you want to look at these twins, is they went on adventures, right? They went on journeys. They went on adventures, and they had two heads. One was rash and violent, and I'ma beat your ass, and the other one was like, yeah, love and life, we love it here. You know what I'm saying? And they went on adventures together, and they was challenging people, places, things, situations, and ideas. Who won it? You know what I'm saying? Who wanted the love and light? Who want the fire and sword? You know what I'm saying? You gonna get both. So I want you to have that level of flexibility on the journey, on the adventures to this long term planning that you have going on. Because you got this idea, but you don't know all the hands you got to shake to get there. You don't know that for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how many people gotta rise and fall to certain occasions and events, and some people gotta lose their job and get a new job. Other people gotta learn how to walk in their authenticity. You got these people over there gotta have a child, and that child gotta grow up to have this passion. All these different things gotta happen for you to be at the right place at the right time, because you're gonna walk your authenticity after watching this live, right? Oh, all right. So you got to be in that right place at the right time while everybody else is moving in their authenticity to be in the right place at the right time for you to get what it is that you want. And you can't see that whole picture. So be flexible in your journey. But don't get fickle. The journey, that's what we desire is still what we desire. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get there. You gotta have this level of trust, and that's all on the MC line. That's on the line of success, achievements. That's the give and take. That's the balance between I'm putting this energy out there and I'm getting it back, and it's successful. I'm being uplifted here. I'm being exalted. So not only are you getting that emotional sense of nurturing and sense of belonging from the IC line, that Cancer energy, but you also getting that hard work, that success energy from that MC line, that Capricorn energy. So it's fun here. Utilize that one to your liking on the 13th. Just being me. I want to be paid to do just the things that come naturally. Exactly. We want to do the things that come naturally to us. The things that we could do for hours and not want to be done. You know what I'm saying? And now we have to sit and think, because the MC line also does slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race with the MC line. And so in that space, you want to create a sense of structure, a sense of discipline. Now we coming into that 4. I told you that 1 and 3. 3 is also ruled by Saturn energy, just like the MC line. So now we want to create a sense of structure. What is the outline? How do we get here? What are the limitations and restrictions? What are the laws of physics and metaphysics we got to go through to get what it is that we want to get to? You know, that's how we ground what it is that we desire into this physical reality, right? We also have a triangle happening in the sky, y'all. You know, Saturn and Neptune is going to be the head of the triangle for a long time, because they trying to help us create what we believe in, create, our spiritual utopia here on Earth with Neptune and Saturn together. Because, Saturn deals with that grounding, the limitations and restrictions, the structure, the challenges that strengthen us to get us what we desire, where we trying to head off to, Saturn also deals with our sense of authority. Are you in charge, or are you letting some random people that you keep seeing in the TV and the newspaper in charge, or you just letting some dude that died centuries ago be in charge? Like, who's in charge over here? Who is your authority? And when I talked about that heavy last year around this time, because I really, really wanted y'all to get in tune with who is your authority? Who's in charge of you? Who is in your Capricorn? Because that's who's giving you the most challenges, right? You got to live up to that. Is it you that's in authority? So now you got to live up to your expectations. Is it somebody? Is it your parents? Is it your trauma? Is it, your inner child that's your authority? Is it the thought you are now? Is it, who's in charge here? And you can have multiple people in charge. You don't gotta just be one person. That's regular. That's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? You can have that. But Saturn is there to question that, and Neptune is there to to show you like your sensitivities towards it. Now we're in the dreams. Now we're in the Akashic records. Now we're in the spiritual realm. Now we're, we got these delusions and this imagination, and we're bringing things to a close when it comes to authority and traumas that, should have just been challenges to give us strength, but we started internalizing that all crazy. And now we have these like different, sensitivities that just don't belong there or nothing like that. And then we got dreams that need some structure so they can come here in this earthly realm. We got a lot of people, giving birth to a lot of celestial seeds, whether it's their thoughts, their goals, their ambitions, or an actual baby. People having, these angelic babies that's coming out here. They're prophetic. All these things is happening with Neptune and Saturn together, right? And they're right now in the sixth house, so they're in that space of equality. And they're letting you know what you put in over here is what you're gonna get out. You don't want to be structured. You don't want to be grounded. You want to have some discipline. Yeah. Sometimes in that space you gotta do some stuff. And it's challenging and it's tiring and it's draining and all these different things. But that's giving you the muscle, right? How you gonna have muscles if you're not lifting weights? It doesn't work that way. And so Saturn and Neptune is going to be at the top of the triangle for a little bit. And they're over there sitting in Pisces energy. So they're in that space of endings, I know in a few days or so, we do have Neptune entering Aries zodiac. But we're still in that cardinal constellation. Don't get it twisted. We still near the Pisces stars on the sidereal and Vedic chart. Now on the Western chart and our thought process, how we think things are to be. Yeah, we're moving into those new beginnings in our dreams and our belief system and our sensitivities, and we're also taking action where it's in our gut now. So aligning your gut health with your nervous system is very important, right? There should be an alignment there. Eating good foods for your gut and your nervous system. My mind went to nuts. Nuts is important here. Mushrooms are important here. Like the mushroom coffee and was that like reishi, lion's mane, all those, mental things is good for you. Ashwagandha, whatever herbs, whatever nuts, plant fruits, that's good for the gut and good for your nervous system at the same time. We want that there. We want that there, especially, when that Mars happens. And for those of you guys who are interested, I am doing personal Neptune and Aries readings, aligning it with your personal tropical Vedic draconic chart. But moving forward, it is happening in Pisces. It's happening in that space of sensitivities and our dreams and things like that. We are, coming into a space where we're learning to structure, our belief system. We're challenging beliefs. A lot of things we used to believe in, a lot of things we used to, be sensitive towards, a lot of things we're detached from. Was a term called like cognitive dissonance? The what's the other one? I forget. It'll come to me at a random moment though. But all these different things that we would just be like, oh, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. We can't do nothing about it. That's the way. Well, there's people, there's places, there's events that are coming and challenging all of that. No, it's not the way it is. It doesn't have to stay that way. It doesn't have to be that way. That's not, we're challenging the authority here. We're challenging the structure here. We're challenging these things, in this belief system, in these illusions and delusions that's been around. We're challenging them. We don't want to sit in that anymore. We're restructuring it, So kudos to the warriors that's doing that. Because I know that's not an easy job. On the one side of the triangle, we have Uranus providing progressive pushes for us in Taurus, right? Progressive pushes in what we value and what we prioritize. And that's key. Now, later on this year, we do have Uranus finally moving to the Gemini zodiac. So our mindset is now progressive pushes to how we communicate and our opportunities, our sense of duality. But for now, and even then, Uranus is still gonna be in Taurus constellation. Y'all know I talk about this all the time. The last time when Uranus entered Taurus, that was in 2019. So we've been here for 6 years. If you're done with that, I know, but if you're done with that, put it away. Yeah, that was about 6-7 years ago, right? That's when COVID happened. It happened Uranus entered Taurus, and at the beginning of March, by the end of the March, we was in quarantine, and we was getting, we were communicating with our loved ones different. We were getting what we valued and prioritized differently, like paying the bills, getting the money, building businesses, all these things progressively pushed like a motherfucker, right? Could you imagine what Uranus about to do in Gemini? We about to be like this and just start talking to people. It's about to get crazy. And then that's what I seen, like a lot of readers, like, predicting like, oh, our phone lines are going to go out, blah, 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 blah. That might happen to certain people, especially certain people that keep trying to speak it into their own existence, and that's already happened with a lot of people, especially people dealing with, ICE, separating communities, breaking up communities. A lot of these house fires, natural disasters happening, different things is breaking up communities, but it's also bringing opportunity for people in the community to stand up and step up and do different things. That's all Uranus and the progressive pushes. So that's something that we can look forward to once Uranus enters that Gemini zodiac. But for now, let's talk about it in Taurus, because that's where we at. These progressive pushes are still happening, what we value and prioritize, what we how we obtain and maintain what we value, what we find, beauty in, spaces of business, money, our balance between our material and our emotional stuff. Some of y'all just like over prioritize material wealth, and y'all have been taught through time and time again through experiences that these material things are not everything. Let it go. And a lot of you guys have been just emotionally all over the place, like just led by emotion only. Like y'all need to ground yourself terribly. Well, you guys have been learning time and time again, it's time to come into the physical. It's time to ground yourself back to a balance. We need the heart balance, because the heart chakra is, the connectivity between the above and below, right? And as much as y'all want to do away with the below and y'all just want to be up in the cosmos in your head all the time and stuff like that, we are having an earthly experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's about having a balance between the two. That's real important. All I've been eating is mushrooms and nuts and cranberries. Oh, so you already tapped in. You already tapped in. Life is forcing me to eat less and less. Life is life. But yeah, so that we have the progressive pushes there, really focusing on our heart chakra.
You want me to close the door?
Yeah, please. And how we feel versus what we have. All right. And that's all happening in the 8th house. So it's empowering transformations there. 8 deals with grudges, things we've been holding on to. It's a lot of concepts y'all been holding on to, especially in the the material realm, but also in facets of love. Yeah, that's my bowl. And get away. Also in the emotional realm, like what y'all think emotional connectivity is supposed to be with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is this kind of relationship. It's supposed to be like this, and I'm gonna hold on to it, and I'm holding on to these, these bonds. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, progressive pushes to rewire that, tweak it a little bit. You holding on a little too tight to certain, relationships. You holding on a little too tight to certain concepts, certain things you value. Let that shit go. And let these transformations be empowering, instead of you saying like, oh my God, I'm losing it, I lost it, it's gone, I don't know what to do. Like, no, this is for your benefit. This is progressive pushes to push you towards what you said you wanted. The universe works in your favor. It's not just doing stuff to you. When you put your thoughts and what you desire in the cosmos always respond. They respond. There's no, just like you get up every day and the sun and the moon do their thing and the stars do their thing. Nature is always doing its thing. Nature is always successful. Every day you wake up, nature is successful. Every day you go to bed, nature is just always successful. And you are nature. So you successful too. So if you say I can't do it, guess what? You're going to be successful in that. If you say I can do it, guess what? You're going to be successful in that too. Both times you're right. If you say I'm this, you're going to be successful. If you say I'm that, you're going to be successful. If you say I'm both, you're going to be successful. That's what it means to be in alignment of something that's just like infinitely successful. We may not always agree, like, dang, that's weird. That animal look crazy. I think seals are undeveloped. But guess what? They here and they're surviving. So in some type of way, shape, or form, them joints is successful. You know what I'm saying? So you want to adopt this mindset of like everything is here to support me. Even these lessons that showing me how to let go, how to emotionally let go, how to physically let go. Just just let the transformations happen. You know, a lot of grudges that we have here too in that heart chakra. Progressive pushes to push out them grudges. Push it out, man. We don't gotta hold grudges to stand on what we value. Values is a moral code too. You know, we don't need to hold a grudge to stand on our shit. It ain't gotta be no hard feelings. Just I don't fuck with you. Your heart's supposed to be light as a feather. Taurus is the heart. Progressive pushes to lighten up that heart, buddy. Because you holding grudges now when you're around other people, places, things, situations. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. You fixed on that grudge. Eighth house is fixed water. That's Scorpio energy. You fixed on that shit. That's where the grudges and the jealousy and all that stuff. You want to learn how to let go. Let go so you can move into new experiences. When the Uranus is progressively pushing you into these new Taurian experiences, you're not still in that backspace over there. You know what I'm saying? Your hands got to be open, not clenched. Because when I was in third grade, they had me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? When I was 5, my parents had me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? When I was 20, that nigga had me fucked up. That woman had me fucked up. And you just walking around like this, like nobody had me fucked up again. Well, while you like this, you also can't receive. You can't give, but you can't receive neither. That sounds like a trash ass experience. Open them hands up. Open that heart up. Be open. And also be open to change. You know, that's what I like about Scorpio. Scorpio's fixed, but it's also the infinite symbol of change. You know what I'm saying? There's a sense of stability in those transformations. And it's just learning how to alchemize with both. I can be in transformations and I could be stable at the same time. Practice that. Practice a sense of stability amongst the transformations instead of always fighting for everything to stay exactly the same and then getting upset when they change or not knowing how to deal and move through the transformations and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the transformations they do be dramatic as fuck. That's the chaos. That's the chaos of Oya. It's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? On the other side of the triangle, last but certainly not least, you could do this triangle a couple different ways. Um, you do have the sun at 28 degrees. Our experiences over there in Sagittarius. You got Mars at 27 degrees in Sagittarius, and then you have Mercury at 23 degrees over there in Sagittarius. So all three of those planetary placements can really, be the other side of the triangle. And then we also have Venus over there at 0 degrees Capricorn approaching Pluto. So we really about to have some intense transformations to our heart chakra when Venus and Pluto align over there in Capricorn. I know we in Aquarius zodiac, but we still in Capricorn constellation. Y'all bear with me. Y'all know I use the Vedic chart. I be trying to switch codes, so But yeah, but the transformations are going to start to happen to our heart chakra. But we talking about the triangle here. Triangle is about creation. All right. And so we have our experiences, we have our motivation, and we have our throat chakra, what we're communicating in that Sagittarius energy, that fire energy of what we desire, our sensual self. If you overactive here in the sacral chakra, it can go into addictions. It can go into obsessions here. It can go into your sense of impatience and grandiosity. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that. We want to be balanced there to where like I'm just being in my joy, y'all. I'm just experiencing what I joy, and what brings me joy motivates me. You know what I'm saying? I got this sense of wisdom here. And I speak these things into existence. I'm harvesting these things, and then you're gonna let Uranus give you the progressive pushes to make it happen, Captain, and you're gonna let Saturn give you the discipline and the structure that's required to, as you imagine it, is helping you. So it's like I'm in my imagination and I'm meditating on these things that I want. And then as I'm coming with the spiral of my imagination, like The Secret, You know, the secret deals with Pisces and Neptune, right? You gotta imagine that you already have it. You gotta imagine that you're there. Da da da. Well, Saturn is providing structure. Well, every day for 30 minutes, you should do this, and then you should start your day like that. Like, what are the habits of that person that is in that picture? It's not just about you being in that picture. How do you transmute yourself, your structure, to fit that person that's experiencing that thing? There are certain aspects about you that don't fit that picture. You don't have the proper discipline to be in that picture what you're imagining that you had. Sometimes we never get to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest key to the secret. It's not just about being in your Neptune and Pisces. It's also being in your Saturn. What kind of structure do I need to have to fit in that frequency? You know, it's not is like people when people talk about manifesting and attracting. I'll tell you what I imagine, or hopefully the way I break it down makes sense to you. I always imagine somebody sitting in Indian style, and they're just like hum, and they're imagining things, and it's putting out a frequency, and the thing that matches that frequency is just coming to them, like the snake coming out of the jaw. It's like, and it's not that simple. Some stuff is that simple. I ain't gonna hold you. I do it very often. I'm a manifester. I like it here, but certain things you gotta say is like, okay, I imagine myself, doing speeches. You see how I could sit here for almost an hour and do this shit, and I can go for even longer, but I'm gonna cut it off in a second. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long because I got stuff to do. Um, but this is my passion. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta sit and think like, okay, what kind of structure do I need to have to do this? Well, maybe I should, meditate for like 30 minutes to clear my mind and my heart and my gut. Have a certain kind of diet so that when I am having my downloads and doing my things and thinking about, the message that I want to bring to the table and for the day, I'm righteous. I'm righteous in it. I feel confident in it. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe, every day I set a structure for myself every day around this time because this was actually a good time of day. I'll sit here and I'll do this with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Have that sense of structure. What kind of person do you have to become to be in that frequency? It's not just about that thing coming to you, but you gotta change your channel. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all not on the right channel. And y'all want shit that's on channel 10, but y'all on channel 3. And so y'all gonna keep getting channel 3 shit. Regardless of how hard you humming, almond for that channel 10 shit. You know what I'm saying? You still not on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So, you can allow that Saturn and Neptune that's at the top of that triangle, bring you that level of awareness. These are the things I want. So, what kind of structure and authority do I have over myself to, put myself in the frequency to having that thing that I'm imagining? You know, what kind of challenges can I expect? Now you come in a space where now you're planning out how you can solve those challenges ahead of time. Uranus is bringing you the progressive pushes in your heart chakra. Now when we start putting the stuff in the heart chakra, it start getting real serious. And we start putting stuff in that Sagittarius energy. Now it's in your nervous system. Now this is important, y'all, because a lot of y'all bring this stuff in y'all space and y'all don't know how to recognize it when it's in your space, right? Now it's in my space and I'm not even sure if this is it. Is this it? I don't know if this is it. This might not be it. Y'all will know. I ain't gonna treat it like nothing. And you still walk around with your hands like this because you still on that Taurus shit. And I remember this one time I was in 10th grade and I was on stage and and this, that, and that happened. Everybody laughed at me. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? You still walk around like this about that. And it's like, no, that was the opportunity. Open your head. Stop it. So you got to be able to recognize, listen to your nervous system. Your nervous system will tell you like, yo, walk up to that person, shake their hand. Like I keep these swag bags on me, right? If you know, you know. If you ever order something from me, if you ever saw me at an event, y'all know Sunshine be random as fuck walking up to people like, I want to give you this bag. Shit, that's me on my Sagittarius shit. Something in my head will be like, give them one of these bags. And sometimes it'll be like, they'll tell me to pick something specifically. Sometimes it'll be like just put your hand in there, or sometimes it'll be like just show them the bag and let them put their hands in there. I listen. That's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? I remember I probably told this story a few times. It's so many experiences that I have with these goddamn swag bags. I ain't gonna hold you, cause it's constant spirit. It's constant spirit. Even like when you open up the swag bag, there's like little fortune cookies I put in there, and that's spirit too. I just be writing messages on each one. Like I don't know who these go to. It was one time I had did a stack. I do a stack at a time. One time I did a stack, and it just felt like I was talking to a lot of sad people. Everybody was sad, and I just kept doing these cheer up messages, like hug yourself, take a dance break, it's okay, forgive yourself. Like, and I'm over here like, dang, who these Jones going to? I ended up going to New York, and I was around a lot of homeless people, and I didn't know, I'm at this artist event, I don't know who the fuck homeless, and I'm handing these joints out. And I had all these people coming back to me like, "Oh my God, how did you know?" And they're crying and they're giving me hugs and this is crazy. Like this message I got to that, and it's like it's one of them things. That's that Sagittarius shit. Now, if you're not listening to your nervous system, it's gonna be real hard for you to walk in that frequency of what it is that you need to do. It's gonna be that one moment where your nervous system tell you like your eye catch the eye of somebody or whatever, somebody walk in a room, or you supposed to get up and go somewhere and you keep telling yourself, nah, I'm not gonna go, I'm not gonna go, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, I can't do this, I can't do that. You keep letting that education get in the way of your knowledge, that education get in the way of your wisdom. The education is indoctrinated. Education is not knowledge. Education is not wisdom. Education is not understanding unless you choose it to be. You can choose your you can choose your own knowledge and wisdom to be your understanding. It doesn't have to be education. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. All right, but you gotta be open. You gotta be open for them opportunities, because I'm telling you, it's gonna come and it's gonna feel weird, and you can't even accept that weird shit. It's not weird. It's not weird. This is the moment. Open your hands. Get out of them grudges. Get out of all that stuff your heart fixed on and all that. Just flow. Just flow. And that's the triangle. And then like I said, you got Jupiter right up on the other side of that one corner of the triangle in opposition, providing expansion, abundance, the philanthropy, the philosophy, the foreign interaction. That means that is people in other countries that's about to contribute to what the fuck you got going on. Like you ain't even touched the surface of the people you're supposed to meet that's going to help you along the way. You don't even know everybody that's going to help you along the way yet. Like that's so fun. That's so fun. So please don't get so stuck and so fixed on the now and who's around you now and who not supporting you now. And I keep trying to talk to my same 12 friends to buy from me every day so I can make $200 a day. Stop talking to them 12 friends. Expand yourself. Stop talking to them same people on Facebook. Stop talking to them same people on these social media accounts. Stop talking to like those same people can't keep buying from you over and over again. You know what I'm saying? They're not supposed to. Some do, and we love it there. But you're supposed to expand yourself. There's billions of people in the world. Stop sticking yourself to the same couple people. Stop sticking yourself to the same couple hundred people. There's billions of people in the world. You still want to talk to the same 200, 300 people on your social media, and more than half of them don't even see your shit. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself out there. Go meet some strangers. Talk to strangers. Anyway, this your reading. These two cards fell out. And I listened to Miles. He said, read the two cards that fell out. And I was like, all right, cool. We got rebirth here, bringing us transformations. Gang, gang. And here you want to focus on your Pluto transformations with Jupiter and Neptune. And we kind of covered those. We covered those planets, didn't we? Because we know Pluto is over there in Aquarius and Capricorn, which is our root chakra, providing empowering transformations to our root chakra, while Jupiter is providing those expansions and abundance and our opportunities of Gemini. And Neptune is over there and our Pisces energy sitting next to Saturn, helping us with our imagination, our dreams, and things we want to bring into our space. And there's transformations happening in those spaces. Transformations happening in your opportunities in alignment with what you imagine, in alignment with that nervous system of what you're attracting. And we love it there. Then we have journey. So not only are we dealing with a rebirth here, but now it's an adventure in conjunction with it. So it might be a transformation to your journey as well. That's fire. And we have Mercury here, that harvest energy on the 6th. And then, Did I say where Mercury was? Mercury's in Sagittarius on the other side of that triangle. So, we're harvesting the things that we desire. We're speaking into it. This is our wisdom and our, our philosophies and things like that. And then we have Uranus. We talked about Uranus being over there in Taurus, providing those progressive pushes and what we value and our heart chakra. And it's all happening in the eighth house of transformations, transforming, how what we value and connectivity to love and material stuff. You know what I'm saying? Our connectivity to material stuff, how we holding on to stuff. So, that's the theme. Then we got the Wheel of Fortune card. So some of y'all is in control mode. Some of y'all is not controlling. Some of y'all not trusting. You're not trusting when you in control mode. You're trying to control too many things in your space. You want to pay attention. You want to hold on to every little detail. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Ooh, wow. You can't control everything. Everything is not in your control when it comes to this. And that's what a lot of that Uranus and Taurus. I told y'all, y'all hands is like this, and y'all still holding on to other shit and this old stuff and these old ways of doing things and blah blah blah. That's convincing you that every little element of what's going on is under your control, and it's not. You gotta learn how to deal with the chaos, that stability in that chaos. Okay, let go. Open your hands up. Let go. Flow. And like I said, a lot of this is dealing with the things you're holding on to, I can't talk, the thought patterns and your core beliefs. A lot of y'all core beliefs is not serving y'all. Y'all been walking around thinking that it does. It makes you feel good about yourself. You're so responsible. You're so dependable. You're so reliable. Oh, I swear to God, I'm talking to myself. You're so in charge. You're such a leader. All these different things. But is you doing too much, especially on that 5, that space of power. Power is about self, internal self. It's not about you trying to control the elements outside of self. So be careful with that. I know, I can manipulate this and I can manipulate that and I can manipulate these people and these events. Da, da, da. Yeah, let that go. Stop doing that. Prayer, gut health is heavy here, especially on the 5s. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Mars Day. That's the energy ruled by Lord Anuman. We want to do gut health things. Meditation through your gut breathing, dragon breaths, all that fun stuff. Work on self here about what motivates you, what gets you going, especially with the elements that you're giving. See how man's got lemons, made lemonade in the midst of everything that's going on. What kind of picture are you painting here? You know what I'm saying? Is it giving you ambition? This is also another form of energy of knowing how to create that sense of stability, knowing how to be the calm in the storm type thing. It's chaos going on around. It's all this bullshit. You give me the limited amount of resources. You can't control the resources that's given to you, though. You don't have ultimate control of the resources that are given to you. So relax and do what you can with what you got, because that's what you got, and it's good enough. It's good enough to do whatever you want to do with it, but you got to be in your power about it. You know what I'm saying? This is how you fine tune your frequency. This is how you deal with the Saturn challenges. Can you do something with this? Oh, you can. I'm about to turn it up on you. I'm about to give you more. You know what I'm saying? You hear stories all the time. People, they made it real big. They did these amazing things. They're da da da. And when they finally tell their personal story, they like, bro, for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I was living on couches. I was sleeping in a car. I was writing my books on napkins. I was I was dealing with these people passing away. I got lupus. I got cancer. I got terminal illness. They were going through all of these things, and you would never know because you're focused on their accolades. Oh my God, this person achieved so much. This person did so much. This person's life is so abundant. Da, da, da. Mind you, they was over here doing all of that shit with lemons. You get what I'm saying? They had all these fucking lemons. And they were like, bro, we going to get this lemonade. There's no choice. I'm not giving nobody a choice. We're going to have lemonade. Now, some people's lemons, unfortunately, are on social media. So now people are only focused on it. Oh, that nigga got lemons. That man got lemons. And so, a lot of people, projecting if you got lemons, you can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? And they still making their lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and watch the lemons if you don't want to. I'm over here sipping this drink. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's another space you have to learn how to be in amongst the chaos. Some people only want to look at your bad self. Some people only want to look at that time you didn't have enough. Some people only want to look at, those things where you were small or you weren't good enough, you were angry, you were, easily triggered, you were all these things. Why? Because that person didn't have that 1 and 3. That person didn't have that 4. That person didn't have that 5. It was mad easy for them to come into your space and manipulate you and control you and sway you and trigger you and poke at you, and you also mirrored something about them that they like. You helped them feel more comfortable in their bullshit. So they only want to focus on that. I only want to focus on the bad sides of you. I only want to focus on the lemon sides of you. I don't even want to look at that. I don't even want to pay attention to the lemonade you over there making, because I can't resonate with that lemonade because I ain't got none. I don't know how to make none. So I only want to look at the bad parts of you and try to humble you and keep bringing you back down and keep reminding you, oh yeah, I remember you used to blah 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 blah, and I remember da 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 da. You ain't never gonna change to me. You gonna always be woo woo wah. Is that somebody outside of yourself saying that, or is that you inside your head telling yourself that you always gonna be that person? Mm. Sometimes it's you, boo. Sometimes it's you telling you always gonna be this person. You always gonna fuck it up. You always gonna boo boo bop. You fix it. Fix it. It's in your gut. That's a parasite, baby. Fix it. What parts of self you gonna focus on? You gonna focus on your Bina, your sense of understanding. Focus heavy on that 3 on the 13, okay? This is 3 of Wands. We in movement. We in motion. Get it done. Let's do it. It's Lord Animan Day. Sun in Aries is here. Experience that solar plexus chakra. Experience the movements. Who you gotta be, what kind of discipline you gotta have, what kind of order you gotta have. How are we motivated here? We talked about Mars being in Sagittarius. Yeah. And it's right on that line. And it's right in opposition of Jupiter right now. We talked about that. Right? Got the Kuiper belt right in between them, and they on opposite ends of each other. I'm sure that's a sight to see out in the stars. So, be aware. So, be aware. And fair treatment. Fair treatment here. We're gonna move in fairness. I think this feels more like for you, for yourself though. This don't feel like an outside energy. If it is an outside energy for any of y'all, it's because that person that you're allowing in your space is a reflection of how you keep talking and doing yourself. So you keep accepting that person in your space to do that with you or for you, and you're utilizing that person or that place or that event as an excuse of, okay, as long as this person is in my space, I can keep saying it's this person and it's not me. And it's really you. It's really you. This feels more internal. And it got a 3-1 and we on a day of 1-3. And 3 is Bina. Still coming into that space of understanding. Okay. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all today. I miss doing this with y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I gotta come back. I miss you. I can do this. But that's what I got for y'all today. I felt that in my heart. I was sitting here and spirit was just like, yo, do one. You haven't done one in a few days. I usually just do them on Wednesdays. I got into the habit of just doing on Wednesday, but something was just like, come over here and speak. Say some shit. Get off your chest. And so I did. And I hope it helped. It helped me. It's not about you. It's about me. But no, if you guys would like a personal reading, you already know I do tarot, astrology, numerology, aligning your astro charts into your chakras, into your sephiros and your netters is what I specialize in. If you guys would like just a one-on-one session, where you get to, get some stuff off your chest and we can talk about the alignment with your stars and chakras, and I give you some art therapy, exercise, and different things you can do in response to the things that you letting off your chest. I also do that, you know what I'm saying? I actually prefer to do that sometimes. Most times I actually prefer to do that. And then, like I said, right now I am doing Neptune readings where we'll go over your nervous system, its placements, and its alignment with Neptune entering Aries this year. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all for tapping in and tuning in with your girl. Y'all are some real ones. So I'm gonna let y'all go for the evening. Y'all enjoy the day of 6, the day of equality. And remember, you're reaping exactly what you sow. So if you don't like what you sow, you better reap something else, baby. And we love it here. Peace, all. Bye. Hasta luego.